Okay, is Jordan here? Do you have Jordan's? I don't have. To talk. Okay. Testing one. Okay, we're not live yet, so we're going to be live in 1 second.
Is this purely for streaming?
Yes. Give me a countdown. Testing 1, 2.
Hello, 1, 1. Hello. Yep. Okay.
Hello, this is Brad Talinsky. We're on Twitch TV, and we're reporting from the 2017 NAMM convention, Music Instrument Convention. And we've got a lot of great things happening today. We're going to talk to artists and manufacturers about the latest and greatest gear. And our first guest today is Tatsuya Takahashi.
Hi there.
And Tatsuya is with Korg.
That's correct.
And he was one of the developers, one of the main masterminds behind the Korg Minilog, right? And
That's
Monologue.
Right.
What can you tell me about these?
Well, you know, we released the Minilog last year, and that was a 4-voice polyphonic analog synthesizer, fully programmable. And, you know, we wanted to create, you know, the best, you know, analog poly that's around. And this time round, we've released a Monologue, which is a monophonic analog synthesizer, specifically sound design for, you know, a fat one voice, you know, great for basses, rhythmical sequencing, you know, it's got a lot in there.
Yeah. I know that these are sort of there to help recreate the great mono synth sounds of your.
Yeah, because, you know, we've worked on the MS-20 reissue, we've worked on the ARP Odyssey reissue, but, you know, those were about keeping, you know, these great historical kind of legendary synths alive and relevant today. The Minilog and Monologue are slightly different because it's about creating an analog synth that's for today. You know, it's a brand new start. It was a design that we started from scratch. I didn't pick any circuits from older models or anything, so it's kind of like a fresh thing that we're doing with the Minilog and Monologue.
A lot of our audience out there are, you know, it's part of the big EDM crowd. I'm imagining this is sort of perfect for them.
Yeah, I mean it's perfect for. I actually think it's great for non-keyboardists to start getting into synthesis. The Monologue is, you know, it's very reasonably priced. It's $299 street, and you know, it's always been about accessibility. You know, delivering the fun of synthesis, you know, outside of, you know, the synth geek world and outside of keyboardists, and you know, into a variety of people who would get really creative with synthesis.
That's cool. You know, it's been a really interesting show for synthesis and all sorts of kind of interesting keyboards. Have you been able to walk around the show and take a look around?
Unfortunately not. This afternoon is my window of freedom. So I've just been doing interviews, actually. This is what I've been doing. Hopefully I will get to have a look around because, there's so much interesting stuff out there. I mean, not just this NAMM show, these last couple of years has been really, really great for the synth kind of community, for the synth world in general. I'm so looking forward to checking it out.
Yeah, why do you think that we're seeing such a great resurgence in creative products and creative keyboards and?
I think decades ago, I was just talking to Dave Smith actually about this, and he was saying how at the time, analog synthesizers were all you had. That was the main technology you had. After that, we had sampling, we had FM. We had all these different phases in the history of synthesis, and I think we've come to a point where we're kind of just sitting down and thinking, we've got this, this, and this, and this. They're all relevant. We can choose what we want to use. So that's the kind of liberation that we're seeing today, I think.
I mean, I am super old school. I mean, for me, it was all about the mini Moogs. I had a Moog Sonic 6 at one time.
Oh, okay.
Prophet 5, all that stuff.
Yep.
And when FM came in, it lost me a bit, So
you didn't jump onto the FM.
I'm really happy to that all this analog stuff is sort of coming back.
Yeah.
It sounds so great, so rich.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming by and telling us about it. Do you guys have like some cool demos or anything online that people can go and check out?
I don't know the exact timetable, but we do have a soundproof room at the Korg booth. I forget the number, 62 something. And please check it out. We've got demos going all day.
How about online? Do you have any cool video or any cool demos up online?
Yeah. We've got quite a few. Obviously, we've got ones for the Monologue, which is the new release. But also we've got other stuff like the Gadget, which is our first foray into DAW territory. So we've got a variety of things going on.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming by, and have a great show.
Okay, thank you. Can I leave? Thank you very much. That's good.
Thank you. This is Brad Talinsky for Twitch TV. We're reporting live from the 2017 NAMM show. Again, all the latest and greatest in gear, cool artists stopping by. Next up, we have a couple of gentlemen from R&M Tone Technology. And what they do is sort of interesting. I don't know. It's not something that you would necessarily think is needed, but they're gonna tell us all about it. It's a powered cable for your guitar, and I'm a guitar player, so I'm super curious as to what they're going to have to say about this. So we have with us Mike and Gene. Yes. So you've got the product right there. I guess you can sort of lift it up and show. Anyways, just tell me about the power wire and what it's all about and why we need it.
Well, it's the first amplified guitar cable, and it drives sound and tone like no passive. Oh, okay. It drives. It's a first amplified guitar cable, and it drives sound and tone like no passive cable does. It's got some very interesting frequency ranges that it has covered from the very bottom end to the high end. It drives signal like no other cable. So,
do you see it? Is it like a little mini booster signal? Like if you're playing a Les Paul, is it going to make that humbucker sound fatter? Is that the idea?
Yes, it'll make the humbucker sound quite a bit fatter. It's a boost, and it's significant in terms of the spectrum. From the low end to the high end, because it's an amplifier, it overcomes degradation in the cable from capacitance, and that improves the frequency response throughout the cable range.
So there's an actual amplifier built into the cable?
Yes, there is. There's amplifier and 2 watch batteries that last a year, and that performance improves the overall signal going through the cable.
It's so interesting. I mean, do you see this, is this good for other sort of digital things too? I mean, like keyboards, or you guys see it as primarily for guitar players?
It's good for any instrument that has a passive output that's not already pre-amplified. There's guitars, there's violins, there's fiddles, there's lots of passive piezo pickups in different instruments. For all of those, it's an excellent amplification and improvement device.
So I'm assuming this is especially good for people that are sort of working those big stages, like if you have to have 30 feet of cable, it'll maintain the integrity of your sound.
Absolutely. In fact, we've driven 100 feet of cable with very low degradation. It sounds as good. It sounds better than the standard cable. It's very much an improvement for long length applications.
So how did you guys start? When did the company start, and how did you come up with this idea?
Well, we started in 2007. We were investigating ideas on how to improve cable sound and response. We had several ideas. We settled on an amplifier in the jack with watch batteries, and we focused on the design for low power, so for long battery life. We also focused on an amplifier design that would be as clean as possible, and we also focused on ways that improved the amplifier on the high end, the frequency, and the low end range. And we found ways to add distortion and subharmonic boost to the amplifier as effects. So we actually call it an effects cable in a sense.
I mean, are you guys, how did you even come up with this idea? Are you a guitar player or somebody in your company that was just dissatisfied with the sound?
Well, we are, we're sort of fly-by-night guitar players. We enjoy just, playing the blues like everybody else, a few licks here and there. We're basically engineers that were looking to improve audio in the guitar world.
Have you had any, do you have any famous friends that are using this, that are endorsing the cables?
We do. Royal Bliss has been using our products for the last 4 years. We have worked with Australian Pink Floyd, who's evaluated the products. We have a variety of people who have tested and have posted a variety, some very good comments on our website and so forth.
Yeah, I think that everybody that plays it, they're very surprised, because when you play a passive cable every day, you get very used to its sound, and so even a very high-end cable can sound awesome to you until you plug it in next to one of these, and it's very eye-opening how much difference the sound is. More dynamics, more range, more punch, and it's just surprising. People dig in harder on their guitar after they've plugged it into one of these and don't like to switch back. It's been gratifying to watch that.
I mean, does it color the sound at all, or you guys work hard on keeping it?
So we have the 0 dB, the CB0, and the CB6 are both clean boosts. They keep the spectrum as pure as possible. It's literally what's coming from your coils to the best representation you can get. Yeah. We do have the option of adding distortion, and we have a TS09 cable that does that, and the Super Sizzle bass boost cable also colors the sound, but those are genuinely designed effects. The other two are preserve the coil sound exactly the way it's coming out.
Well, it turns out that I guess I need one of these cables after all.
We hope you'll try it, definitely. Come by, you can demo them right here. So.
Yeah, I play all sorts of different instruments. I play like guitar and fiddle and mandolin, and it would probably be good for all of those instruments too.
Absolutely. We've got a pedal steel in the booth, and people playing that. We've got a cigar box guitar. Somebody brought by a fiddle actually yesterday. Yeah.
We've had fiddle players that have played it.
Because you you lose all sorts of harmonics, you know, when you're playing, and you're always searching for ways to try to get that back.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, well, guys, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you,
and
Brett.
Thank you.
Again, you know, look it up. Power wire cables. What's your URL?
www.rmtonetech.com.
Oh, I'm glad I asked, because everybody's going to look for power wire.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
rmtonetech.com.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Brett.
it.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Brad Talinsky for Twitch TV. We're at the 2017 NAMM convention. Again, we're going to be talking to manufacturers about all sorts of cool gear, but we're also going to be talking to great artists. And I have a fantastic guitar player coming up next, chat with us, Yasi. Anyways, this is Yasi Hofer. If you haven't heard her, look her up online. She's one of the best young guitar players that I've heard in ages.
Thank you.
I thought so much about her playing that she's actually part of a new record that we're putting out, a compilation of great women players called She Rocks, Volume 1. And Yasi has an incredible track on it. But you've got a new record coming out. You want to tell me a bit about that?
Yes, I got my second album, and it's actually been released last Friday.
Oh, wow. What's
It's
it called?
It's called Faith.
Yep.
And it's got like a lot of really cool guitar stuff on it, but also songs with vocals. And it's all self-written music, and I'm like really happy that it's finally out. And I got amazing people on it, like drummer Marco Miniman.
Yeah.
He's on there, so that's like, it's pretty awesome.
Why is it called Faith?
Well, that's like kind of the way I want to look at life and go through life. Being like having faith, I feel that's really important.
So, where are you from originally?
I'm from Ulm, Germany.
Oh,
It's like a small town in southern Germany.
Are you going to be touring in the United States at all? Are you going to be touring in Europe behind the record?
Well, not the US yet, but I'll be touring through Europe. It's actually going to be my first big tour coming up in like February. It's going to be 30 shows within 2 months. So that's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to this.
Who are some of the influences on your music, so people out there can sort of get a sense of what you might sound like?
Well, definitely Steve Vai. I mean, the people who know me know that there's a history with Steve Vai and his music, so that's definitely something that people will hear. But I heard that a lot of people say the new record sounds a little bit like Joe Satriani too. Yeah. But then I'm also like influenced by Jimi Hendrix and Jeff Beck, and I feel like all these influences are definitely hearable.
Cool. You play a Suhr guitar, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, like my main Suhr guitar, it's like this multicolored neon guitar, so it's got like neon pink, neon green, and that's like the perfect guitar for me. It really looks amazing, and it's so special that like people will recognize me just by seeing the guitar.
Yeah. That's in the great tradition of Steve Vai with his Gem, or
That's
Eddie
true.
with his Strype guitars.
Yeah. And then like I had actually the same one built as a 7th string, and that's on the new record, so it's a lot of heavy music on it because I have the new Suhr 7th string.
So was it hard for you to get used to going from 6 to 7 strings? Like it was. Listen, I don't play 7-string guitar, but every time I pick one up, I feel like all of a sudden my hand has an extra finger on it in a bad way.
It's so difficult. Like even the right hand, the picking, I was like all off, and then like remembering the notes, the names on the fretboard, it's been crazy. Like it took me half a year to get to feel comfortable on it. So it's really not easy.
So the track that you that's featured on the She Rocks Volume 1 CD it's available through Amazon now, Cosmic Stars. Can you tell me how that particular composition came together?
Well, it started out me sitting outside and watching at the stars, and there were like, do you call it comets? Comets?
Comets?
Or something like that, flashing, and I don't know how I got the rhythm idea, but then the riff came up for me. I went straight down, started recording, and then I got so influenced by having the 7th string and the new harmonies, so that's like the whole song. It was built on getting inspired with the 7th string and that one main riff that's on there.
That's sort of the best way to learn how to play a new instrument, right? Is just write a song and practice it and play it.
And that's what's going to happen. I mean, you get so inspired if you have a new instrument. It's like, even not if it's a 7th string, just any new guitar that I get and I start playing, I get inspired and start writing new songs.
So we've talked about your guitars, but you know that's only half of it. We have to talk a little bit about amps too. So what are you playing through?
I play through a Stryper reverb, and I also have a Carbon Legacy. So depending on what I'm gonna do for the record, like I use both of them a lot, but it's gonna depend.
Have you had a chance to check out the show at all, to walk around to see any of the interesting instruments and stuff out there?
No, I arrived like at noon today, and I had to go right to soundcheck for the show tonight. So probably I'm gonna start walking around tomorrow at like the earliest, yeah.
If anybody wants to see Yasi play, like tonight, she's going to be playing actually the Lemon song with Led Zeppelin. She's going to be playing the Led Zeppelin classic. And it's going to be live on parade.com. I think it's going to be transmitted live. So make sure that you check that out, because she's really fantastic. And also, I think people can hear Cosmic Stars online if they want to check it out on guitarworld.com.
Yes, that's right. I know they put that up there, yeah.
So if you could play with any guitar player, living or dead, who would it be?
Well, since I got to play with Steve Vai, next up would be Jeff Beck, definitely. Or Scott Henderson, maybe, but I'd be scared to join him.
Yeah,
he's like
terrifying.
out of this world for me.
What else can we expect out of you in the next few months?
Well, I'm just gonna be like really promoting my album a lot. So you're gonna hear a lot about my new album everywhere, and then promoting the tour. And once I get back from that, I'll start working on a 3rd album.
Are you gonna do any video?
Yes, I sure will do that, yeah.
So it's your website is?
It's yasihofer.com.
That's YASIHOFER. You guys are definitely going to want to check out this incredible talent. Thank you so much for stopping by, Yasi. Really
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you. Hello, this is Brad Talinsky. We are live from the 2017 NAMM show on Twitch TV. And our next guest is Elijah from the D'Addario Company.
That's right. How are you, brother? Good to see you.
Good to seeing you. We were trying to get you on yesterday, but they were a no-show. So anyways, we're going to catch up with them today.
I think you guys shut down a little early for us.
Maybe that was it. Okay, it's my fault. I'll take the blame.
Excellent.
So, D'Addario, these guys make all sorts of cool stuff. People assume maybe just strings or see as picks, but you have all sorts of awesome products, and I see you have something with you today. What the heck is this?
So it's true. D'Addario does make guitar strings for electric guitar, bass. We make strings for violin, viola, cello, upright bass as well, and then of course a slew of percussion products, some of which I'll talk about today. So the first this is the Sliver Essential stick bag. So this is designed to be a 4-pair max drumstick carrier, and of course there's a drum key holder on this as well. So it's lightweight, it's compact. It features these tom mounting, a bungee tom mounting system. So I could show you if I can hold it. So these bungee cords allow the drummer to mount the stick bag directly to the drum on the tension rods.
Okay,
it hangs. It doesn't, dampen the sound of your drum, and it's really effective. And it's small.
And it looks cool. It looks nice and rugged, like drummers want to look rugged.
That's right. So we decided to go away from the black on black on black, go with some more boutique styling and design, and this is the Sliver Essentials. The second.
It's good if you're camping. It's
yeah. The second in this line of stick bags is what we call the Transport Deluxe stick bag. So this too features the same bungee cord mounting system. All right, you have a nice exterior pocket on this bag. When you open this bag, you're exposed to your favorite pair slot here. You have a key leash.
Here, I'll hold it so that you can talk into the mic, so people can hear everything.
Excellent. So, that's better.
Yep.
So this is the Transport Deluxe, and it features a favorite pair slot here. You have your full storage like you would expect from a traditional stick bag. This dump pocket actually becomes a pretty handy pocket as you're playing gigs. If you're playing a lot of backline gigs in any urban areas, the first thing you do when you sit down is you pull off the watch, maybe throw the ring off, phone, wallet, that's your dump pocket here. Key leash there, everything's secure for you before you're about to play, so you can think about the music and not where your stuff is.
I'm just going to carry this around for my cell phone and stuff.
It's cool, it'll definitely be handy for you.
Yeah.
So again, same boutique styling and design. You have magnetic handles on this as well, which gives it a little bit more of a premium feel.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So those are the two new stick bags from ProMark. We have one other product, and that is the Kimberly Thompson Signature Stick. So,
listen, they got everything here. They've got the small stick bags, big stick bags. They got sticks. Okay.
Yeah. So the Kimberly Thompson stick is a 7A with a little extra reach. So
okay, I know who Kimberly Thompson is, but tell our audience who she is.
Sure. So Kimberly Thompson is a tremendous voice in the drumming community. Of course, she's active with our female drummers for sure and Tom Tom Magazine. Most notably, though, Beyonce's drummer for the last 6 years or so with the Single Ladies Tour. She is definitely a force to be reckoned with, a tremendous player and an active voice in the community of drummers. So this stick is the extension of that for drummers. So again, 7A, 16.5. It's thin, it's lightweight, it's a fast drumstick, so you can really chug along when you're playing up-tempo swing, bebop, and funk. And of course, it has the gold glitter paint on it.
I like that.
So it looks good under the stage lights. Yeah.
So that's cool for our drum peeps.
Yeah.
Is there other cool things that are coming out in Dario just that you can give us real quick?
Absolutely. Sticking to the percussion line of products, we have the Evans UV1 drum head. It's the first ever UV cured coated drum head. So it's a single ply 10 mil with this UV coated cure. So this drum head gives you 2-ply durability with single-ply tonality and feel. That's huge.
It's because drummers have to buy new drum heads. They're expensive. I just ask her over there.
It is true. We also have some really awesome products on the guitar side of things with the Dario's NYXL line. We also expanded the acoustic guitar string line to the nickel bronze, so you can bring out the true character of your guitar.
Yeah, the Dario strings are also sort of built for maximum durability.
It's true.
So that seems to be the theme is you have to, you're buying less, right?
Yeah.
You get more bang for your buck.
Yeah, we want to innovate with great product that serves players well and enhances their performance experience. If that means that you get a little bit more durability, a little more life out of the product, well then so be it. That's what we're here for. Some other notable products that are really cool, actually just won Best in Show award with MMR, is our cinch fit. So while on the topic of acoustic guitars, I know it's always a challenge when you're trying to put a guitar strap on your acoustic guitar and covering the jack hole. That's a challenge with such a small leather punch. So the cinch fit uses gravity to keep a compressed fit on the edge of your jack, and it keeps a nice secure fit so you don't got to drop that expensive guitar. And that's a killer product.
That is cool. You guys keep on finding these new things.
Yeah.
We didn't know we needed them, but now after you make them, we have to have all of it, right?
Well, that's the idea. Well, thank you for that, for sure.
So where can people go to check out this and all your new stuff?
So come to the Dario booth. That's a good question, what booth number we are.
like a lot of our viewers are just out there in the world. So like
Cool.
like how about what your
Where to go.
URL is, or
Sure.
or what stores carry your stuff, so they can go
Yeah.
and check it out.
Sure, good question. So promark.com for the percussion stuff, evansdrumheads.com, of course D'Addario.com will get you to all of those. All the products that I talked about today are in stores now, so be it your Guitar Center, your Sam Ash, or your local mom and pop shop, you can find all these great products and more there.
Yeah, D'Addario's pretty much everywhere. Like anywhere you get your
Yeah.
finer musical instruments.
It's true. It's true.
So thank you so much for coming by, Elijah. Better late than never. In fact, you got prime time right here, so it's probably
Well,
better.
Cheers. Thanks so much. It's
Okay.
nice to be here.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you, buddy.
So Brad Talinsky here with Twitch TV. We're at the 2017 NAMM Music Convention, and as I promised you, not just great manufacturers, but also incredible artists. And we have one of my favorite guitar players coming up next, Miss Nita Strauss. How you doing?
I thought I was late, or I thought I was early, but now I think I'm late, so I'm sorry for being late.
That's okay. That's okay. As long as you made it.
I survived.
I was going to say as
I
long as you
survived
came,
sound
but I
check
thought that
and-
might sound too race.
Thank you.
Anyways, it's been a big year for you.
It has.
Oh my God. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Nita, she's her pretty much her regular gig is playing guitar with Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper.
Yeah, how's that been?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's been,
It's been like a couple years now, right?
It's been almost 3 years. Yeah, it's been almost 3 years, and it never gets old. It never gets stale. You know, the band is great. You know, me and Ryan Roxy and Tommy Henriksen all have fun on the guitar. Chuck Garrick's killing on the bass, and Glenn Sobel, of course, on drums. And we just find a way to keep the show fresh and make it exciting.
You can't forget about Alice too. He's always good.
Oh yeah, no, he's always great. But we already said his name. I want to make sure everybody gets their name.
So I am a total Alice Cooper fanatic.
That's
I
right.
love Alice, and I have to ask, what's your favorite song to play in the set?
It's so hard. It's so hard to pick one. You know, we're adding in a lot of the 80s stuff now, which is really, really fun. You know, so I always like doing the kind of the Kane Roberts stuff, you know, so I'd have to say Frankenstein's fun. Frankenstein's always fun. I know it's not Kane, but Frankenstein's always fun because you get the monsters, you get the whole stage show and all that good stuff. And
Under
World
My
Needs Guts we're
Wheels,
doing.
one of my favorite songs of all
So
time.
much fun. So much fun. We just added in The World Needs Guts, too, which is really cool. I love playing that one.
That's great.
Yeah.
So this is one bit of really cool and exciting news, is that you're going to be working with Marshall.
Yes. I've been playing Marshall amps now since June of last year, so 6 months or so, and it's really just elevated my tone to a whole nother level. You know, I never even thought about approaching a company like Marshall because I always thought, what use would they have for somebody like me? You know, what use would a company like Marshall have? You know, they've got the best of the best. And when I started working with them this last year, it's been really just incredible. We found ways to grow together and do a lot of cool stuff, and it's been amazing.
It's always been, you know, certainly would have been one of my dreams, is to have a company build me a guitar or build an amp to my specifications.
Oh, yeah.
What's sort of special about your amp? What did you want? What was on your wish list?
Well, actually, I'm using a Satriani. I'm using a Satriani JBM. So, you know, if it's good enough for Satriani, it's fine for me. Ibanez actually did build me my own guitar this last year, which is really, really, that was a dream come true for me. So that was my big signature move for this year, was getting my custom build with Ibanez.
Well, in addition to playing classics with Alice Cooper and touring, you sort of struck out on your own a little bit this year.
That's right. Thanks to you.
Yeah. So Nita has one of the tracks on the She Rocks album, She Rocks Volume 1, called Pandemonium. And it is It is a tour de force, as they say.
I like to play fast.
And in fact, she made a video which just debuted, I think, yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
On
Wasn't it? Or day before
revolver.com.
yesterday? Yeah.
The day before.
Yeah, we did that video. It's so funny. As you know, we were planning on just releasing a SoundCloud link for this song. And then my boyfriend Josh looks at me a week before the premiere day and goes, "Oh, let's make a video for it." I said, "What, now?" You don't have time. And he said, "Just let me worry about that." And I said, "Okay." And sure enough, we threw together a video in 4 days and got it ready to premiere. And it was really just, for me, it really encapsulated the song. You know, it's a raw, aggressive song, and we shot kind of a raw, aggressive video. And, you know, it came out exactly how I wanted it to.
I've got to tell you, the playing, and I don't mean this in any way, in any negative way, but I think in the last few years, you've just grown leaps and bounds in your playing.
Thank you. I feel like that too. I really do. And I think as a guitar player, it's important to see where you can improve and evolve. You know, it's really like a lost art in music. It's easy to play the licks. You know, we all have our go-to licks. We all have the stuff we like to play, and it's hard to evolve past that. So I feel really good about that, and I feel good that you noticed. Thank you.
Yeah. No. I mean, you know, it seems like all of a sudden you get this cool dream gig with Alice Cooper, and you'd think, I can relax.
Coast.
I can coast now.
Yeah, I did the opposite, and you know, I always have felt like I've had a lot of growing to do as a guitar player, you know, and that's the reason I never put out any solo music until now. And now I sort of feel like I'm definitely not where I want to be yet, but I'm a lot closer. You know, I'm a lot more developed as a player, and I feel more comfortable reaching out, you know, branching out, doing my own thing.
Nita is also going to appear tonight at the She Rocks Awards, and you can check out the awards on parade.com. You know, can we expect any more new music from you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's coming. You know, we've got 4 months off with Alice, which is a rarity in our world. So I'm going to take these next 4 months. I've put together my own band, working on original music, and hoping to have something out before I leave again in April.
Great.
Yep.
So again, check out, I think you can go to revolver.com.
Yep.
You can see Nita Strauss's incredible new video, Pandemonium, and you won't be sorry you did.
Hopefully not. Yeah, you can always check it out on Facebook and Twitter, all that good stuff. Facebook.com/Nita Strauss, Twitter and Instagram at Hurricane Nita, and my website, nitastrauss.com as well.
Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you, Brad, for having me.
Okay, we'll see you tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So this is Brad Talinsky from 2017 NAMM convention, Musical Instrument Convention. We're live on Twitch TV. And who do we have up next here? Who's next up? Is it Pete? So next up we have Pete from Synthtable. And I'm really curious about this. I definitely want to know what Synthtable is and how it differs from Synth Chair or Synth Fork or any of those other things. And I'm sure he's here to tell us all about it. So first, what is Synthtable and why do I want one?
Why do you want one?
Why do I want one?
Brad, right?
Yep, Brad.
Brad, let me tell you.
All
All right, Brad, let me tell you. Synthtable, it's a synthesizer turntable. All right. Synthesizer turntable.
Synthesizer turntable.
It's a way of repurposing the common DJ interface. No need to retool. Make it a musical instrument, musical workstation. Yeah.
I don't exactly know what that all means. Explain it to me further. So you have a turntable.
Yeah.
And how do you work it? How does it work? What kinds of sounds does it generate?
Well, it's like MIDI or anything you want to control. You have a Yamaha motif you want to control?
Right.
Get Synthtable.
Cool.
Now you can control with the turntable.
How do you create notes or melodies and stuff out of it?
Well, just like you have 12 hours in time, Gotcha. Just like you have 12 hours in time, you also have 12 notes of music theory.
Yes.
You also have 24 hours if you want to count it. You can put 36. You can make 48 hours in one circle.
We're out of math.
You can have a diatonic, chromatic, pentatonic, whatever you want.
But I mean, how do you trigger the notes?
Well, with a crossfader.
Okay.
So the same DJ interface, which is a mixer and 2 turntables. Waka waka waka.
Yeah.
You can trigger just the same, but now with a synthesizer.
So does it have a software accompaniment with it, or is it a piece of hardware? Or?
Absolutely. It is all software.
It's all software.
Well, the hardware is already there.
Right. Okay. Why would your common DJ want this?
Well, they're making all this music with said synthesizers, and then they go out and they play the music, which is a composite waveform of the music. This time they can no longer have to bring out a synthesizer on top to make it look like they're doing something important, and rather than just pressing play, they're actually interacting, having a musical conversation.
And how did you come up with this idea? Like, what is the genesis of it? Like, when did it start?
Well, one day I realized I couldn't play a melody with a turntable, and I was really sad, Brad. I was really sad. And so I thought to myself, I got to change this.
Do you also play? Do you play synths, or have you always just been a turntable guy?
I've grown up in Nashville, Tennessee, so being around musicians, you kind of, by osmosis, learn.
So have you had a chance to walk around the show at all? Have you a chance to see anything interesting or cool? Is there?
Oh, it's amazing. It's a circus here.
Is there anything in particular that you have? Are you checking out all these new sort of analog suitcase synthesizers that are coming out?
Oh, those are cool. The Euroracks? Yeah, that's a whole new thing. It's like going back in the past, but also new at the same time.
I mean, it's sort of a super cool way to just come up with new sounds and new tones and everything.
Absolutely. Sound design.
So, are you a DJ? Are you out there playing live? Do you have any cool endorsers and stuff that are also using the Synthtable?
No, we're currently developing it right now. We would like to. Absolutely.
Well, Pete, I appreciate you coming by. I sort of wish I could almost see it. Do you have like a URL or is there any cool demos online where people can go and check it out?
Absolutely. www.synthtable.com.
Nice. Well, that's easy to remember. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, man. So this is Brad Talinsky. We are live from the 2017 NAMM convention. We're live on Twitch TV. And again, we're bringing you the best of NAMM. All sorts of cool manufacturers, all cool performers. We have some interesting people coming up very, very soon. We're going to take a quick break here for a couple of minutes and be right back with you. Thanks. give me a count in, and then I'll. Am I on? Hello, this is Brad Tolinsky, live on Twitch TV. We're at the 2017 NAMM Show Convention, and we have a really interesting guest coming up. This is a director to a great new documentary called Take Me to the River. Anyways, his name is Martin Shore. He's going to come up and chat with us for a bit here.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Martin, how's it going?
It's going great. It seems like NAMM gets bigger and more robust every year. So.
Yeah, it's so fun to look around, right, at all the cool stuff.
Definitely.
So tell our viewers out there a little bit about Take Me to the River and what it is.
Well, Take Me to the River is really a movement at this point. It's a film, it's a record, it's an educational initiative. It's an educational initiative. By that I mean Berklee College of Music is our partner, and we have curriculum that's written for public, private schools, charter schools around the country, and through our sponsors and partners, Grammy Museums, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we do outreach to the underserved. And through Berkeley City Music Network, we are constantly bringing music to underserved and the deserved students around the country.
So it's sort of like scholarships and stuff, right?
What we try and do is provide a full runway from the inquisitive mind beginner to professional opportunities. So our touring band, which starts a North America tour in 2017 of PAX throughout the country, features 5 students from Stax Music Academy, which is one of Berkeley City Music's member affiliates. Yeah. And we'll be doing the same thing with Take Me to the River NOLA, which is about 85% complete, should be completed this summer. So that's Act 2, if you will. Yeah. And we'll be touring that band with students, including students from the Tipitinas Foundation and Roots of Music.
That's cool. But this whole thing did start out as a film project, right? If I'm not mistaken.
You're absolutely correct. It started out as a film that won South by Southwest and 10 other festivals around the world. And we also released our record through the Concord Music Group and the Stax label particularly. So
it's sort of about up-and-coming R&B artists. I mean, give us a little background
Sure.
of what the film encompasses and where people can see it.
Right. So the film is now on Netflix, and you can also buy it at Amazon, iTunes, and the normal places where you would purchase physical as well. Yeah. Same thing with the record, wherever you consume, your music, it is available. The premise was to make new, fresh, and urgent and important music with the foundation builders and leaders of rock and roll, and particularly Memphis and the Stax and High Record musicians, and pairing those legacy musicians with stars of today so that we could accomplish making new music that was fresh and important and relevant, interesting, and urgent.
And at the same time, sort of like, illuminating what was so cool about the history of music, too.
That's right. We had lots of historical touch points about how music is the soundtrack culturally of society, as well as, political and social issues, and how important a role it plays in not only history, but also sort of chronicling, the events of community. Memphis, as you know, went through a terrible time with the assassination of Martin Luther King. Yep. And, is really just still recovering from that. Yeah. And so it really does play a part in understanding and giving students a jumping off and touch point to history and how music feeds into that.
Well, we have tons of musicians probably watching us right now, and if they wanted to find out more about your organization, because it sort of sounds like something any fledgling, any up-and-coming musician would want to know about. What's sort of the best way for them to find out about what you guys are up to, and about Take Me to the River Part 2, which is going to be spotlighting New Orleans musicians.
Social media, we're very active on social media, so Facebook, Twitter, and TMTTR, Take Me to the River Education, is our educational site. So we're doing education almost every week. We're doing something.
I mean, is it just the name sort of implies an R&B bent? I mean, but do you guys get into like teaching hip hop or rock music, or is it just more like Stack's old school R&B music?
What we found when you come to the epicenter of music, which we feel Memphis and the Mississippi Delta is that all genres start melting together and becoming one. And it's music, right? Yep. And soul music particularly comes from the heart. Yes. So soul music is sort of the key to finding your way to the other genres. And yes, to answer your question specifically, we do master classes on hip hop, on songwriting, on how to best get pre-production, get ready for the studio, best approaches and ways of approaching recording, those types of things.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I love New Orleans. It's like literally one of my favorite places in the world to go to, and I was there right before all the floods, and then I was devastated afterwards what happened to it.
Yes.
It's fantastic that it's rebuilt so quickly, and people like you are helping out. So definitely everybody out there, take a minute out, go to Netflix, go see Take Me to the River. It's really, really a great couple of hours. You'll be thoroughly entertained. And then check out online and the social media attached to it. Thank you so much for stopping by, Martin. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, and have a great rest of the NAMM show, and thanks for what you guys are doing. You know, bringing this out there to everybody is great. Thank you. Awesome.
Okay. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much.
Brad Talinsky here, Twitch TV, live from the 2017 NAMM convention. Again, we're going to be talking to artists, and we're going to be talking to cool manufacturers, people that make great products. And next up is a dude from Walrus Audio.
Yeah.
Colt.
Yes.
That's a solid name, man.
Thanks, appreciate it. I didn't pick it, but yeah.
But you're living with it.
But I haven't changed it yet.
You're working.
So we got time left.
Yeah. So you do one of my favorite things in the entire world, which is make guitar pedals.
It's your favorite?
One of my favorite things.
This is destiny.
One of my favorite things.
Okay, gotcha.
One of my favorite.
Are we good like that right there?
There you go.
It's a 57. You can get direct. Okay.
So why call it Walrus Audio?
Honestly, I hate that you started with this question. There's not a great story behind it. We liked the animal, and our graphic designer designed the logo, and the logo was like awesome. We're like, that's it, we're done.
I think that's a good answer.
Yeah,
I like
we're
the animal.
Done with branding. Let's do pedals now. Let's
Animals.
just design pedals. Yeah. So it was. Yeah. I wish there was like this mythical, wonderful story on how it saved someone's life, but I don't have that.
In this post-Trump world, we sort of need people to love animals.
Exactly. That's a good point. That's so good.
Okay. So tell me what are a couple of the new pedals that you guys are bringing out?
Yeah, so this year, last year, we had a lot of success with the Julia analog chorus and vibrato. Just a couple of features we added onto that were new was a lag parameter that kind of changes the voicing of the chorus, and then a blend to go from chorus to vibrato. And then this year we're coming out with the red high gain distortion, the Monument tap tempo harmonic tremolo, and then the ARP 87 multifunction delay. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fun year. It's going to be really fun.
So this, I mean, clearly there's a lot of people out there making guitar pedals.
There are.
There's a lot.
I wish they'd stop. It'd make it so much easier, wouldn't it?
Make your life easier.
I know. So many good people.
But my question is did you feel compelled to start building your own because there was a flavor out there that was missing?
No, I think just audio tweaking is a passion of mine and a passion of a lot of the guys at Walrus. And, we've bought pedals before and hot rodded them and modded them to, for less highs or more a mid bump or something like that. And just kind of through that, it's like, let's just do our own thing and make our own overdrive. And then it was a compressor, and then it was a delay, and then, just kind of snowballed into Walrus Audio.
So how would you describe your distortion pedal? Like, what makes your distortion cool? What is it? What was it out to replicate?
Well, I think so honestly, I really started geeking out on this year on the Boss HM2, and I'm just fascinated with just the pride that it's voiced with. And so there's a couple things I didn't like about it, and so I was like, I want this distortion texture, but I want to be able to do like a bass cut, a bass boost, mid cut, mid boost, treble cut, treble boost, and maybe do a toggle to change the voicing for variety, more compressed sound. And that's where the red high gain distortion came from. So, and I'm tired of transparent overdrive, and I'm tired of the trend. So, yeah, this is not transparent.
You wanted to add a little girth to the whole thing.
This is not transparent. It is not for sweet little friendly gigging.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, what is it? Who do you think has the all-time best guitar tone? Who's somebody that you really
my gosh.
like?
SVR, dude. SRV. I didn't say his name wrong. Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, he's obviously he had the best guitar tone. I mean, I know it's subjective, but I'm usually right about these things. So I'd say Stevie Ray Vaughan. It was kind of the inspiration of tone for me, and then and then from there it's a litter of fantastic guys.
So why didn't you call it the Stevie Red Vaughan?
I could have done that. I don't know if Stevie Ray Vaughan would have played this pedal. He would have given it a sweet workout, But there's other guys, that are still playing. The Edge obviously is a fantastic tone master, and then Peter Stroud is probably my favorite with Sheryl Crow. He's probably my favorite guitar player.
Pete's cool.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Is he your brother from a different mother? I mean, you guys have a similar vibe.
I tell people that, but he doesn't tell people that. So the answer is half yes. So
I love Pete.
Yeah.
What sort of in the future, if you had to project? I know you just came out with new stuff, so you don't want to have to worry about the future too much.
Yeah.
But what do you want to make next? You want to make a Colt Wah?
The Colt Wah.
The Colt 45
maybe
phase shifter.
Maybe I don't know what to do with Wah, so I don't know if there's anything I can do. I don't know if we do anything with that. But we just recently got more into DSP, the digital stuff. And are really pleased with the results so far. So we might keep riding that train a little bit and just see what happens, So, yeah, we'll see.
So if the viewers out there want to check out your stuff and want to hear demos and all that jazz, what's the best way for them to listen? Do you have a cool URL?
If they can send us a letter through snail mail to I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it's walrusaudio.com. And we put all of our social media stuff on the website, all of our demo videos and third-party demo videos from people that play guitar a lot better than us. So,
So if you guys like animals and the color red.
Yeah.
Definitely check out these guys' stuff. I'm going to stop by their booth at some point during the NAMM show, and I'm gonna see the new flavor, man. I want to know the new flavor.
Come do it. Let's do it.
Okay, man.
All right.
Good chatting with you, Colt.
You too. Thanks so
okay,
much.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, man. Appreciate you. See ya.
So Brad Talinsky here. Brad Talinsky. I think I see Michael Sweet somewhere. Anyways, Brad Talinsky here, live on Twitch TV. We're at the 2017 NAMM convention. Having a great show. Talking to some cool people. And we're going to take a break for a few minutes and be right back with you. Thanks. Hey, Brad Talinsky with Twitch TV. We're at the 2017 NAMM show, and we have a really, really special guest, one of my favorite keyboard players, Mr. Jerry Harrison.
It's nice to be here.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
My pleasure.
And we spoke with Martin Shore a little bit earlier, the director of Take Me to the River. But you're also involved.
Yes, I am. I got involved sort of mid shooting, and E.T. Thorngren, the engineer I worked with, we basically mixed and worked on the music that had been recorded, and then did the initial mix of the movie that was then sort of tweaked to Skywalker. And then Martin and I became better and better friends, so I actually got involved with what the edit looked like and the whole feel.
And you guys are working on a follow-up, right?
That's right, down in New Orleans.
Yeah. So what musicians are you featuring in the New Orleans?
Well, I know there's another. The most well-known are the guys from the Nebel Brothers, and his name's escaping me. There's a Dutch musician who he's like if you've seen the TV show about. He's featured in that TV show, and then just a host of other great players.
Cool. So are you involved with, I know that there's this whole sort of educational aspect to it, or just encouraging younger musicians to get involved. Are you taking part in any of that too? Did that get you interested in the project?
I mean, I was out at a few of the events with Berkeley. I'm not there all the time. Because I produced a String Cheese album this year, and also the one before that, and there's been I have actually some other projects outside of music I'm doing, so I can't be as 100% on it as some of the other people working with Martin. But I was at the Berkeley event that was at the Apollo in New York.
Yeah. Are you playing in any of the current projects, or are you focusing more on producing these days?
Well, I play every once in a while. There's been a couple of benefits. My good friend Bernie Worrell from Funkadelic, who I brought into Talking Heads, passed away this year. And we had a benefit in New York, so I sang songs and performed at that with, it was kind of nerve-wracking going, boy, I better play pretty well, because it's like, okay, it's going to be George Clinton and Corey Glover and Nona Hendrix, and then I sat in with Living Color, because on the song that I co-wrote, Memories Can't Wait with David, which the Living Color covered, I played that.
Well, you toured for a bit with Bernie with
I sure did.
in the Talking Heads. That must have been in education.
It certainly was, and then he also was in my solo band. Oh, yeah. And we continued. He would often stay at my house, and we continued to be really very, very close friends.
So it's interesting that you produced a couple of String Cheese incident records. Like, people wouldn't, I don't think, normally associate you with that sort of jam band world.
Yeah.
What did you find interesting about those guys?
I was introduced to them by someone who, I played another benefit this year, which was very different, for the lyricist for the Grateful Dead, John Perry Barlow, who actually went to prep school with Bob Weir, is how he knew him. And John also founded he also founded the Electronic Frontier Foundation, was a lecturer at Harvard Law School, and is a big net presence. And he has had some health issues, and we had a benefit, so I played there with Lucas Nelson and a very different group, Rambling Jack Elliott, Lucas Nelson, Sean Lennon, Les Claypool, and that was a great thing. But John introduced me to the String Cheese a few years ago, and then I didn't do that record, and then they got back in touch, and I've sat in with them a number of times covering Talking Head songs, and they certainly are fantastic players, and so they sort of, in some of their songs, they really embrace the, you might say, the groove of Remain in Light. So that was a fun project to do.
Are you a gear guy? Do you like coming to the NAMM show and checking out new keyboards and all that?
You know, I haven't been at the NAMM show for a little while, and I'm looking forward to that. I've kind of went back to more basic things. So I have, of course, a nice collection, and I have to say I'm somewhat of a snob, as I sort of like the older sound instruments, and I think that instruments that try to do too much often, you might say, waste the resources of the processor or the memory to try and have too many sounds or too long a reverb or too many things like that. I'm a fan of for instance, the Nord Electro series, because it does something quite direct. And it was also, when I got the Electro 73, I was able to sort of figure it out in 10 minutes, and I could explain it to somebody in 5 minutes. Instead of, I find sometimes the way that things are organized is very confusing. If you walk up on stage and you go, play this keyboard, it's like, where is, like, you know, where are the piano sounds?
Like you're almost sort of stuck with what's in the little window rather than you don't have any.
You're just scrolling and like you're banking, and you know, it doesn't work so if you have it all pre-set up, it's fine, but it's difficult as someone who's just walking in.
I mean, you're talking to a Prophet 5 guy, so I love that kind of stuff.
I've still got my T8 and my Prophet 5. I just bought a Mini Moog, an old Mini Moog.
Over at Korg there, they've just reissued the ARP Odyssey.
Fantastic.
And there's a lot of really cool analog-y synthesizer stuff in there. You're going to have a good time.
No, I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, my wife just bought me a B3 a few years ago, too. So I like going in both directions. And
there's nothing better than that sound.
You know, there is.
It's tough on the back, but there's nothing better than
that's right. But On the other hand, I do see where there are really sort of interesting sounds being created that are, but very often you have to give them a lot of space in the music. And this is one of the issues of if you start with that sound, you compose the sound around this whole song around this interesting sound, and everything else that ought to be a much simpler sound, because these things that are complicated or anything that has sort of changing wavetables or all the stuff that Dave Smith was involved with earlier on with the Evolver and things like that, kind of almost have to be featured to work.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by. I've admired your work for years, and you're going to have a lot of fun out on the show. There's a lot
I'm
of
looking
cool,
forward to it. Okay,
cool
thank you.
Stuff.
Nice to see you.
Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for stopping. I had a gap. Hello, everybody. This is Brad Talinsky, Twitch TV. We're live from the 2017 NAMM show. That was just Jerry Harrison, legendary keyboard player from the Talking Heads. And next up, we have another legend joining us, Mr. Michael Sweet. How you doing, buddy?
How are you, man?
Good.
I should talk into the microphone, right? Hey, hey.
Yeah, definitely talking to Mike. You have to swallow it a bit. So, anyways, NAMM. What brings you here other than looking at all the cool guitars and amps and
oh man, well,
all
NAMM,
that jazz?
NAMM is NAMM. It's a sea of musical gear, man, and all the new stuff coming out that you want to check out and experiment with and whatnot. But I mean, the main reasons why I'm here, I'm working with a company called Washburn. Everybody's familiar with. And there's a couple of
great acoustic and electric instruments.
Absolutely. And there's 2 Michael Sweet models.
Wow, cool.
U.S. made, custom shop, signature models, and then there's an import model coming soon. So I'm really excited about that. And
what's the shape?
The shape, one of them is a V,
cool.
Solar V.
Yep.
Washburn, and the other one is called a Priestess, and it kind of has that Explorer / Firebird shape to it, really killer guitar, and I'm thrilled to be playing them. I toured with them last year and played those exclusively, and hopefully for years to come I'll be playing Washburns exclusively.
Yeah, I mean, Washburn for years and years has sort of established itself as making great mandolins and making great acoustic instruments, but they've also made some really great classic electric guitars too, the N4 being one that comes to mind.
Of course. Nuno, they have Marcy is a team member. Myself, I just signed on with him, and that's one thing that I love about working with Washburn is there's not 1,000 artists, so it just feels, at least this is my perspective, it feels like more of a one-on-one relationship, and to me it's all about relationships. I was just talking to the guys and telling them that means more to me than the gear. The gear's icing on the cake, but they make great guitars, and they're more important, they're great people.
So what's special? What were your requests? What were the bells and whistles?
Well, on my guitars, the necks are spec'd out a little differently. I played, when I was with Boston, touring with Boston, I played PRSs. So I got used to the specs on that neck on a custom 24. So the neck is spec'd out to that. It's got that size to the neck, and the fret size, which is a medium fret instead of a jumbo fret. I'm not a jumbo fret guy. A lot of the modern rock metal guitars have jumbo frets.
I'm a jumbo fret guy.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's all right. These are medium frets, and maybe it's because I grew up playing some of the old Epiphone guitars and stuff, Fenders with the medium frets, But and then Floyd upgrades. Adam over at Floyd Upgrades, he's upgraded the Floyd. It's got the brass block on it. so they're very thin, lightweight guitars, but because of that and the pickup configuration, it doesn't sound thin. It sounds chunky. Seymour Duncan pickups in it, blackouts.
You can't go wrong with those.
They're my favorite active pickups, and the thing that happened by mistake is my tech reversed the pickups. He put the bridge in the neck and the neck in the bridge. And I started playing it, and I loved it. And he said, hold on, Michael, I think I blew that. And I said, no, leave it. So I've been playing with that for the last 10 years.
It sort of makes some sense in a way, because you can get like a cool, more pillowy sort of rhythm sound and then get a little more definition up by the neck.
Exactly. That's what I've been telling everybody over the past few months in interviews. And here's the reason why it works with those pickups. Usually if you take a neck pickup and put it in the bridge, it's not going to have the output, so it's not going to have the sustain and the amount of gain and output that you want. But with those, the output level is the same. So it works. And it just sounds so smooth on the bridge position, and so cutting, but not in a piercing way on the neck position, and clean. Not a muddy neck pickup. It's just a very clean, articulate neck pickup. I also have I have a Floyd Rose with the locking system on them, but I also had him put the Spurzell locking tuners because it makes string changing faster.
See, this is the thing. Like, that's essentially why I've always wanted to be a rock star, is because I could have a Floyd and somebody else would change the strings.
Well,
that's really the only reason, you know.
In those times when there's not anyone there to change the strings, which it happens on occasion, I can change my strings in about 4 to 5 minutes, really fast.
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, you should. It would go viral. You should make a video of that.
Oh,
the
man.
Michael Sweet method of changing strings on a Floyd.
It works, man.
And have like a little timer going in the background.
Dude, I'm telling you, I got it down. I can change it. I would make a great tech. Yeah. If I ever lose my job as the guitar player, singer, Stryper, I'll apply to be a tech.
So if you could be anybody's tech, whose tech would you be?
Absolutely. Eddie Van Halen's, of course. Come on.
I'll let you know if I hear anything. So the guitar's only half the equation, though. So what amps are you playing through these days?
I am playing through Mesa Boogie amps, and I've been a Mesa Boogie guy for a long time. I mean, occasionally I'll play through Marshalls if we're doing an overseas run or something, because I find that Marshalls overseas are more consistent, and you know what to expect. It's going to sound the same. But in the States, when we travel, do a ground run, I take all my Boogie gear. I've got 2 Mark V heads, 2 290 power amps, and 4 412 cabs, and it's pretty beefy sounding.
So you played with Boston.
I did play with Boston and sang for Boston, yes.
Did Tom Scholz ever yell at you?
Tom never yelled at me, but he had someone else deliver the news.
Did they deliver the news in 3-part harmony?
No, but I'll tell you a quick funny story about Tom. Yeah. When you play for Boston, you don't have a choice playing through Boogie or Marshall. You're going to play through Rockman, okay? And I was playing through a Rockman head, through a bunch of cabinets that weren't even live. It was all direct. So anyway, I would go in at soundcheck when he wasn't there, and I would make setting differences on my EQ. Barely. I'm talking 2 dB post at, say, 200 or whatever. He would walk in and say, Michael, I can hear that you adjusted the low end a little bit, the lower mids. And I'd say, yep, I did. And he'd go back and put it back, and that was it.
Bat ears. So what's new for Mr. Sweet? What do you got coming up?
I start work on the sophomore album of George Lynch and I. It's called Sweet and Lynch. I got Brian Tishy playing drums on it, and James Laminzo on bass, and George Lynch, of course, and myself. We start recording in about a month.
Wow, that sounds like it'll be cool. He keeps you on your toes as
Oh, yeah.
far
It'll be
as
cool.
playing some guitar, right?
Yeah, it'll be killer. And then we did one album already, obviously, that received really well reviews and whatnot. And then later in the year, in October, we're going to do a new Stryper album as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
Cool.
I try to do a couple albums a year. I just released a solo album in August of last year called One Sided War on Rat Pack Records. I try to stay busy, man, you know?
Staying busy, staying creative. That's what
Yes.
we all want to do.
Absolutely.
That's a dream, buddy.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mike, for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. It's been an honor. Thanks.
Michael Sweet, ladies and gentlemen.
That was fun, man.
So this is Brad Talinsky, Twitch TV, live from 2017 NAMM Show Convention. And the great special guests just keep rolling in. Next we have the great Doug Pinnick. He's here representing Tech 21. So we're going to talk to him about his gear. We're going to talk to him about his new projects, see what's going on with King's X, and let's bring him on up. Come on up, Doug.
Hello.
It's an honor, my man.
Oh, thank you.
How you doing?
It's an honor for me to be here with you. I'm doing great.
That's cool. So I see you're working with Tech 21. You've been working with these guys for a while,
A
right?
few years, right? Where's
Yeah.
she at? Dale, 2 years, right?
Yeah. So you've got this thing that you've worked on with them called the Ultra Bass 1000.
Yes.
It sounds really impressive.
Yeah.
The Ultra Bass 1000.
Well, I mean, you got to put a good name on it. It's all the hype, but believe the hype, okay?
Believe
it's
the
good
hype.
to believe the hype.
So tell me a little bit about it.
It's a rig that's centered around this sound that I have. Oh, okay. It's a rig centered around the sound that I've created for myself, but you can blend it in to make it sound like the way you want to sound. It's really user friendly for bass players. It has a few unique techniques that aren't in other bass amps. Just some of my secrets that I use, and so we're real excited about it. It seems like everybody that plays through it really likes it, and people are wanting to get it.
I mean, do you go through? Does it go through speakers? You go directly into?
Speakers are directly. It's made for I call it a sound man's dream. He just can plug into the back of it and he's just turn it up and it works.
I always admire my bass playing friends. I didn't used to because you guys had to lug around SVTs and things like that back in the day. But
I had somebody else do it at that point. No, I lugged one around.
But now you guys are all set up with these little amplifiers and stuff that sound fantastic.
Yeah. Well, we got tired of carrying all that big stuff,
So how did you start working? How did you get hooked up with Tech 21? What was that?
I met Andrew a while ago, years ago actually, and he's done a Sans Amp, which is one of the biggest pedals around. And so I've always come by the booth to hang out and talk. And one day he handed me a pedal, and it was similar to my tone. And so I says, well, what did you do? And he says, you want to build an amp? And I go, yeah. So we got together, built an amp, and this is what has happened. We're real excited about it too.
I always say that was always sort of my childhood fantasy, is that one day a company would say, we're going to build you an amp. We're going to build you a guitar. You can do anything.
Are you kidding? It was a dream come true.
It's awesome, right? Fantastic.
No, I'm really, really excited about it. It makes me really happy. The biggest thing about it is I can plug into it and get the sound that I've always wanted all my life, and I've had to use so many other things to get that tone. Gotcha. And it's just a little box that does it. Yeah. And it's just, for me, that's what I love about it. It's easy. Anyway.
You use it live and in the studio,
always.
Both places?
Yeah. I don't use it. I use it for everything now.
Cool. So you've worked on a bunch of different projects over the last several years.
Yes.
What's new? What's coming out?
Just finished KXM. It'll be out in a few months. Our first video came out a couple days ago. It's called Scatterbrain.
Scatterbrain,
That's
cool.
KSM, yeah, with George Lynch on guitar and Ray Luzier from Korg on the drums.
Yeah.
You know,
That's not shabby. Company.
It's our second record. And King's X is out on the road playing all the time. Yep. And we'll be working on a new record soon. We don't have dates yet, but we're in the middle of discussing, you know, how to move forward to make a new record. Cool. Man, I have a Hendrix tribute record coming out in about 6 or 7 months. We'll tell you more about that later. I don't have a lot of information, but we tried to recreate a Hendrix album that sounded almost identical to Hendrix, but it's like, what would Hendrix do if he came back and redid like Axis as Bold as Love right now? Yeah. And so we did it and tried to do it exactly like it was, even though probably Hendrix would want to change everything around, do it completely the opposite, but we did it more like the record, and it was a lot of fun. And I think people will enjoy just listening to it.
I think Jimmy would flip out at all the different toys and different ways you could manipulate sound these days.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's his thing.
I was actually talking with Eddie Kramer just last month.
I met Eddie. I mean, I know Eddie. I sang on a Hendrix tribute record with him.
Yeah, and just Hendrix hearing phasing or flanging for the first time blew his mind.
His stories are amazing.
Yeah. So what do you think that Jimmy would be doing if he was still alive rocking it?
I would say he would get rid of every effect and be playing straight into a Marshall with a Strat.
Maybe he would come full circle.
Come full circle. It's after a while, because look at all the technology. There's so much now that you just get lost in it. Yeah. But what do we go back to? Our fingers and that amp, you know.
But it would have been an interesting adventure.
Watching that,
getting back to ground.
Yeah. I would love him to hear him play through my amp.
Yeah.
Doug amp. Well, he would have loved it.
Well, he wasn't a bad bass player.
Yeah. All along the Watchtower.
Yeah. Well, a lot of stuff. A lot of things he was out there. So, King's X, you guys were sort of known for having sort of grand concepts. Is that a thing that you guys are conceptually, like when you get ready to do a new record, do you have to have some?
Honestly, here's the deal. Whenever we make a record, it's what we feel and what we're thinking at the moment. Yeah. And for some reason, when we get done with all the songs, it appears to be a concept. And so people think it's a concept. We've never, ever made a concept record, ever thought about it. We write and we just put the songs together. And we're excited after we get 10, 11, 12 songs. We get them done, then we listen to the whole record and go, oh, okay. Because we don't know what it looks like or what it is until we hear the whole record and then go, okay, I get it. And then people will go, sounds like a concept record. And we go, not really. Right. We just threw it together. We never think about things.
So do you enjoy coming to NAMM? Have you hit the floor? Have you looked at any new instruments?
I love NAMM. I've been coming here for years. This is a place where I get my attention quota filled. Okay. If you ever feel bad about yourself or your career, you're down, come to NAMM, okay? If you did anything, there'll be somebody there that'll let you know it's okay.
Hey man, it's always good to get love.
It is. It really is.
Always good.
That's all we want. Everybody wants a little love.
Are you going to be playing any shows around NAMM? Are you getting up and jamming with anybody?
King's X is playing tomorrow night at the Grove with Zach, Sabbath, and King.
Okay, well that's an unbelievable lineup.
I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him.
I know Zachary, my boy Zach Wild.
Yeah. Yep.
Great player.
It's going to be a fun night.
Well, thank you so much, Doug, for
You're welcome.
For joining us. And his new thing with Tech 21 is called
Doug Amp 1000.
And if you want to sound like this guy, which I'm sure if you're a bass player, you definitely want to be able to sound a little like Doug Pinnick every once in a while. You should go out and get that.
Don't let him say that. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy.
Bless you. Oh, put that at the table.
I'll hold on to that. Thank you so much. That was some snapping and popping right there.
I'm good at breaking things. I know how to fix that.
We got it. Medic, we're down. Good. So Brad Talinsky here, live on Twitch TV. We're coming to you straight from the 2017 NAMM convention. Wow, we've had an incredible day today. All sorts of great guests. Doug Pinnick from King's X was just here. We had Nita Strauss, Yasi Hofer. And next up, we have Tom Bedell from Breedlove, who makes some of the best guitars in the world today. Fantastic acoustic guitars. And I see he's brought one with us here.
Yeah, this is our brand new concerto. It's a brand new body shape.
Okay.
And we use some scientific technology that we've learned called sound profiling to get a bigger, more projection sound than the typical dreadnought, but a more complex textured tone. So
I could tell you've been talking a lot today.
It's been a big day.
You got a little bit of a NAMM grit in there, a little NAMM gravel.
I do.
So tell me about the shape. I mean, I noticed that the waist here is like like it feels like a little thinner. A little is that part of it, or?
Well, we had a multiple criteria when we designed this. It's really beautiful, isn't it? That Cocobolo.
That's really beautiful. If you can get a shot of that.
You know, if you take a dreadnought, it's kind of a rectangle.
Yep.
And you go to put it on your lap, and it's sliding off and so forth. So we wanted to keep the waist.
Gotcha.
But we also know that there's not much sound. There's not much sound that's created up here.
Okay.
It's all down in that lower bout.
Yep.
And so we wanted to get the same air volume as a typical dreadnought. So we made the instrument thicker. As you can see, it's about a 5-inch thick at the bottom. We made the sound hole smaller, and so we get more air compression, and that holds the notes inside the body longer, so they get a chance to blossom. You know when you hear a voice and it's kind of shrill, and then it breaks out into that vibrato, and you go, "Oh man, that's beautiful."
Yep.
That's what you really want to have happen with a guitar note.
Well, it's sort of funny. I mean, I guess it's with all acoustic instruments. I've told some people here already today, but I also play violin. And one really interesting thing about violin is a really great one sounds a little harsh when it's right next to your ear.
Right.
But it's when the note travels and it has a chance to sort of blossom and go forth. I've heard people say that, Stradivarius up to your ear is like it's a little bit harsh. But you get out there a couple of feet out there,
and it gets a chance to build,
and it opens up and blossoms. So that's what I'm hearing from you about this guitar.
Exactly.
Another interesting. Somebody was telling me about this the other day. I was sort of fascinated by it. That at Breedlove Guitars, you guys have something that you call sound profiling.
Yes.
Something that goes into almost every guitar that you make, right? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. This has been a big breakthrough for us. So if you look at acoustic guitar builders for the... Do you want to set that down? Yeah, that'd be great. Acoustic guitar builders forever have used tops to a dimension. So you cut a Sitka spruce top, let's say, to 125 thousandths inch. Yep. And every guitar you cut to the same dimension. But if you take a 500-year-old tree, I mean, picture you're up in the southeast Alaska, the Tongass National Forest, and that tree was fighting its way through the forest before Columbus encountered America.
Yep.
And it slowly grew. Over 500 years, it grew maybe 300 feet tall. So you can tell how slow it grows. So inside that tree, the wood at the top and the wood at the bottom aren't the same. The younger wood on the outside versus the center aren't the same. But guitar makers tend to just take Sitka, and build it all to the same dimension.
Right.
So we figured out that doesn't make sense, because what we're trying to do is to activate the top and have it move against the back at a set of, it's about 30 hertz difference that we want it to be. And to make sure we control that, instead of cutting to a dimension, we're going to cut to a frequency. So we actually take each of our tops at Breedlove, we tap them into a computer, and it shows us the modes, and it gives us the deflection and the weight and the mass, and then we in turn say, if we're going to put that in a big sounding guitar, this is what we want the mass per square inch to be on that guitar, and we need to sand it to, let's say, 110 thousandths instead of 125. So each one of our tops will vary in the dimension based on the nature of that particular piece of wood.
Wow. So maybe another way of describing it to people that couldn't follow some of that.
I'm sorry.
You almost tune the wood to the instrument. Like you get it, you get the actual wood becomes more harmonious.
Correct.
In order to vibrate in just a more harmonious way, right?
Well, of course, the way guitar works is the top pushes the air against the back.
Right.
The back pushes the air back against the top and out the sound hole. So you want it to move like this. But if you have a 30% variance in your tops and a 30% variance in your backs, you could get a guitar that moves like this.
They're going to fight each other.
And you won't get much sound out of it. Yeah. Or you could get a guitar that's doing this. So if you want to
I've had a couple of those.
Yeah, there you go. So if you really want to get it right, you want them to really have the right distance, top to back, and you want them to have the right energy for how they work together. And instead of just doing it randomly now, we can actually do it with frequency analysis.
Does it surprise you that after hundreds of years that you can actually find a new way and a way to improve an acoustic guitar?
Well, actually, I don't know this, but my gut is that when you took the Craftsman back in maybe the 1930s, that they didn't have any of the science that we have. They didn't have the computer programs, but they were artists.
They had better trees back then, I think.
I think they could probably feel, or they could say, this one's a little too stiff, or this one. But then we got away from that because things started getting built by CNC machines and so forth. And so really what we've done is taken what made guitars great back in the 30s and applied science to be able to do that now.
Yeah, we don't have the time or the patience to be that intuitive.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. We need computers to help us out with all of these things. So, aside from this beautiful guitar that we have over here, do you have any other new? Does Breedlove showing any other new instruments that we should know about?
Oh yes, we pretty much completely revamped the entire line because we applied sound profiling to every guitar that we build at Breedlove, and we learned a lot from that. So, for example, we have a guitar called the Moonlight, which weighs less than 3.5 pounds. That's a pound less than a typical guitar we make. And the energy that travels through it is just incredible. It's just so alive. And we were able to discover that through all the sound profiling work. So we pretty much, from top to bottom, revamped the product line, and it's being really well received. It sounds extraordinary.
Were you mad when you figured this out? Or were you happy?
My production manager was mad. My production manager goes, well, no, first my wood buyer, because now every piece of wood that comes in is an individual material. We don't have a stack of 100 pieces of Sitka tone wood. We have one, and then the next, and each one's profiled, right? So they have to do all that work, and then when we're deciding what guitar they're going to go in, they have to go through and find the one that matches up that body and what our goal is on how the guitar will play and sound. So we made it a lot more complicated.
But they're doing it all for you out there.
That's right.
Where's the best way for somebody to go check out a Breedlove?
Well, of course, if you're at the NAMM show, come on down to Hall E, and they're all there. And we have our sound profiling booth there, and we'll actually show you how we do all the frequency analysis and how it all works. But otherwise, just visit your Breedlove dealer, and they'll have these guitars for you to see.
So you can find out where your nearest Breedlove dealer is at
BreedloveGuitars.com.
BreedloveGuitars.com.
Hit the dealer button.
Yes, okay, man. So anyways, it's such a pleasure to have you, Tom.
Thanks, Brad.
And very fascinating. I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear that guitar, although NAMM is...
It's a little hard right here.
Not the best.
We have a sound booth in our booth down here, so people can hear him. Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to check check it out.
All right, thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Yeah, I'll try not to take this with me. There you go.
Brad Talinsky here, Twitch TV. We're live from the 2017 NAMM convention. We talked to a lot of great artists today, a lot of great manufacturers. And next up, we're going to be talking to the legendary Roland company. Roland always has some of the greatest technological innovations. And today we're going to be talking with Christian Delfino, straight from Roland, and he's got a product called the Go Mixer. Oh,
that's correct. There
and
it is.
It's cool. It's small. We'll take a. Can we get a zoom in on this guy?
Which camera would it?
Okay, so the first question is, what is it, and why do I want one?
Well. What is it? It is an audio mixer for your cell phone. So we're doing so much video from our cell phones, for either just recording it or live streaming it. To get better audio, especially from other devices that are not a microphone, you need a little Go mixer.
Wow. That's very cool. So how does it work?
It's real straightforward. You take one of the included cables. So there's a lightning cable for your iPhone and a USB cable for your Android phone. You just plug that right in. It powers off the device, so off your cell phone or your iPad, and then you plug in your different sources. So, if you're doing music instruments, you just plug those right in. Microphones, you plug those in. A gaming console, anything that you want to plug in that has audio outs, and you have 5 audio inputs in here. So you can mix line level inputs, music instruments, microphones, adjust the levels, and it right away replaces the microphone on your cell phone. So it shuts it off so you don't get any of that weird ambient, really crappy sound quality noise. It uses the audio here. It's plug and play. It's brainless. It's easy.
So everybody out there, no crappy sound. I think that's what we can take away from this.
Absolutely.
So how did you think of this? How did the people that come up with this
Well, we work with so many people across so many different disciplines. So musicians, of course, because we're rolling, but also lots of people that are doing AV streaming and things like that. And even news broadcast networks, stuff happens in the spur of the moment. They need to be able to get there. And a lot of stuff you see on TV now from news is actually from a cell phone that somebody's doing. So we were looking at how do we improve the audio of all this webcasted video. And this is one of the ideal ways. And it's great because you're not just limited to a microphone input. You can plug in all your different sources that you want.
Oh, cool. So does it come with an app, or is
no?
it...
You don't need an app. It works with your camera app on your iPad or your iPhone or your Android device. It really just replaces the microphone.
I mean, I almost hate to ask it, but I'm curious. How much does something like this cost?
A mere $99.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
it.
that's pretty cool. I mean, I guess that should be something that a lot of the MI companies could sort of learn from, is what can we do with our phones, with our iPads? I mean, how can we make best use of that stuff?
Well, look how many stars are coming from online channels these days, right? So people are growing their careers and their businesses. And if you want to get any kind of music distribution or things like that, these companies that are going to give you a contract or help you out with a budget, they look to see how many followers and people and fans that you have. So by having better quality content on your website or whatever social media site you're using, you need to get that. And this makes it so easy. Put your phone or your tablet in front of you, plug in your music instruments and your microphone, sing along, press stop, and you've got great audio. Because one of the challenges is you used to have to record your audio separate and match it up with your video later. What a pain in the neck that is. So this way, you just plug it right in and it's done for you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, Roland, they always have tons of new things at NAMM. Is there something else that you can tell us any other
Absolutely.
surprises
We have
from
a number
Roland?
of new things. We have a great new flagship stage piano called the RD2000, which has our V piano technology, also a 128 voice sound engine on top of that, and then an audio interface for all the plugins. So you can blend the internal sounds with your plugins that you're using from your DAW or like Apple's MainStage, for example. We have a great set of keyboards entry level to get more musicians involved in music called Go Piano, with a great music instruction program by Faber, famous Dr. Faber, one of the biggest in the industry. And then the Go
So
keys.
it's built in right into the actual keyboard?
Yep, uses Bluetooth, has Bluetooth built in, uses an app on your phone, and the curriculum is built right in there. We also have a Go keys that, remember when...
So there's no excuses if you guys ever wanted to learn how to play keyboards.
No, exactly. And remember when you went to play keyboards, it always had bossa nova and cha-cha and all that? Yeah. We've actually updated all these sounds to be more modern sounds, so electronics and things like that. So younger people will be more engaged in the learning process because they're not really into the bossa nova cha-cha stuff anymore.
Da, 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 bum,
exactly.
Da, da, da. And what else we got coming from Roland?
Well, Boss, which is our other brand of Roland, right? We have this fantastic new acoustic amplifier that you can go see. And the DS1, which is the most popular Boss pedal in history, is celebrating its 40th anniversary. We have a special edition 40th anniversary DS1 pedal.
So tell me about this acoustic amp, because this is a pet, I won't say a pet peeve of mine, but I've always found it difficult to find a great acoustic amplifier. Like a lot of times I just plug into like twin reverbs or something like that. Actually, I take that back. For a long time I actually used a Roland Jazz Chorus for my mandolin.
Okay.
Because the chorus effect made a mandolin sound gigantic. So tell me what's special about this acoustic amp.
What's special about this one is that, first of all, it sounds great as an acoustic amp. We built in a looper functionality to it, so if you want to create some rhythms for the backing to go over what you're doing, and then also vocal effects right in it. So it's one amp for the the singer-songwriter kind of coffee shop vibe. You can do that with this amp. It's a fantastic sounding amp with all these extra features that normally need 2 or 3 things to accomplish. It's all done in the single amp. Yeah. And the sound quality. I mean, it all comes down to sound. You got to try it to believe it. It's really good.
I mean, do you have different models in it for different instruments? Does it work like that, or how is it?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have different tunings for different things that you want to play.
Cool.
Yeah.
And is Boss coming out with any? I know it's a 40th anniversary, which is definitely a big deal. And there isn't anybody who doesn't play guitar that doesn't have at least 3 Boss pedals somewhere in there.
Very true.
Do you have any? Are there any new flavors?
Well, like I said, the new Boss pedal, the 40th anniversary DS1 is there, but no specific new pedals.
That's not a new flavor. Is that a new flavor? That's an old flavor. That's a 40th anniversary.
It's a pretty special looking new flavor. Let's put it that way.
Okay, well, looks count for something.
Hey, it's a limited edition, so if you're a collector of pedals, it's a special one.
I'm definitely a collector of pedals. Well, thanks so much for coming. This thing is really awesome. I could see just about anybody, musician, non-musician, wanting to own that.
It grows across the range. It's not limited to musicians at all.
It's called the Go Mixer. Go Mixer. Check it out, man.
Check it out.
Okay. Thanks, Christian, for coming.
Great. Thank you very much. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, and bring Dave up too. Hey, this is Brad Tolinsky. I'm here at Twitch TV. We're at the 2017 NAMM show, and we've got the great Taylor Company coming with their new guitars. Actually, I was just at your presentation the other night. Was sort of blown away by all your new products, and we want to definitely talk about this guitar, and I also want to talk about your new electric bass too, which I was really good, that I was very impressed with. Anyways, tell us a little bit about this guy. This is for sort of beginner guitar players, right?
That's it, yeah. Effectively, this is our new Academy series. And what the Academy series guitars are for Taylor guitars is we're really all about trying to create new guitar players for the future, right? And quite frankly, we believe that the more guitar players there are in the world, the better off the world is. You know, I think most of us agree to that. So we realized a couple of things.
Play guitar, don't make war.
That's right. We figured if we could make a guitar that gives the new student every possible chance to succeed, we're going to be doing our job well. And so we kind of sat down, Andy Powers and the design team sat down and said, okay, what is that going to require to make a guitar that gives everybody the best possible chance to succeed? And what that looked like is we wanted something that had great playability, we wanted something that had great durability, was easy to maintain, we wanted something that had the affordability factor, that was at a price point that somebody that might be interested in playing guitar would not shudder at the thought of spending that much money, but still get a great quality guitar. So what we did that was fantastic on these new instruments is we went through and said, let's give the player everything that they need to succeed and nothing that they don't. So there's not a lot of bling, there's not a lot of bells and whistles on this instrument, but what it does have is playability for starters. Our neck width and string spacing is a little bit closer together, which is great for beginners and smaller hands. Yep. We also have a shorter string length, also known as scale length. What that does for us is makes the strings a little bit slinkier, easier to press down. We have lower string height, which is also considered, known as lower action. Again, easier to fret the notes. And on top of that, we have light gauge strings. So all of that really is comfortable for the person with their left hand that's never played a guitar. But then the real kind of hero here also is this armrest that we put on the guitar.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
Isn't that neat? Yeah, the armrest is typically reserved for our more expensive guitars because it's very, it's kind of cost prohibitive in a lot of ways because it takes a lot of time, effort to make it happen. And the thing you'll find is it's very time intensive, for lack of a better way to say it. And that said, what we were able to do on this guitar, because there's no binding, we were able to automate this process. And in so doing, we could offer this at a price point. Again, it's our entry-level guitar for a beginner, so it's really exciting for us.
It looks cool, too. I mean, it doesn't look like something that's just put in there for convenience. You know, it almost looks like part of the design.
Yeah, it absolutely is part of the design because we figure the person that needs the best playing guitar is not the guy that's played forever, it's the person picking it up for the first time. So if you notice here, your arm comes across the top. It's very comfortable. Yeah. You can play extended periods of time. It keeps your arm off of the top of the guitar.
I think what's sort of awesome about this too is because, and important to get the word out that you guys are doing this, is if you're a starter player, you probably don't think you can actually afford a Taylor guitar. Yeah. Taylor guitars tend to be associated with these, and they are magnificent instruments, but you always think of Taylors being, pro level. So it's really cool that you guys are making this thing.
Yeah, it's we're known as a guitar that you kind of grow into as you become further down the chain. But with a guitar like this, we're looking at the market of somebody that maybe is going to try guitar for the first time. They may go out and be willing to spend $300, but for that $300, they get a guitar that doesn't have good action, doesn't stay in tune, doesn't sound good, and the experience is not very gratifying. So you pony up maybe a couple $100 more, and you get a guitar that not only sounds great, plays great, stays in tune, and is very, very easy, if not the easiest guitar on the market to play.
Okay, another new Taylor product that I was alluding to a little bit earlier. I heard a demo of this a couple days ago, and I was sort of blown away. It's a acoustic bass guitar, and I've heard acoustic bass guitars. It's not such a big deal, but when I heard it plugged in and amplified, it almost sounded like an acoustic upright. It just had such a beautiful, rich sound. So could you show us and tell us a bit about that?
Let me grab that for you real quick, just 1 second.
Okay, cool.
All right, so what we've got here is our GS Mini bass, and we put it on the chassis of our really popular GS Mini series guitars. And it's an incredible instrument. A lot of work went into it. We've got a custom set of strings that was designed with Taylor guitars and Diodaria. It's got a nylon core with a bronze wrap, so it gets a great tone.
Oh, so that's part of the secret to it too.
That's the secret sauce right there.
I gotcha.
And these bridge pins, we have a dual-pronged bridge pin which holds the string in place, but pushes the string more towards the back of the instrument so that the break angle is a little bit softer because you have a bigger string, it's hard to have that off the back. That was an incredible design feat that Andy came up with. Both of those things were the two main challenges to making this thing happen. So when we solved for those, we were able to make the bass. And then when the bass came alive, it just plays so good. It's a really amazing sounding and playing bass.
Yeah. You know, when you look at it, it's funny. It looks like it could be some sort of like backpacker guitar or, you know, maybe not a super pro level instrument. But I got to tell you, when you plug it in and apply vibrato to this thing, it sounds like you're listening to a beautiful, expensive upright bass.
Yeah, it really has a lot of great warmth to it, a lot of great sound to it. But we realized we designed it for three people. We designed it for those people that, you know, bass players. How often are they forgotten? You know, you don't see bass players at the campfire with an instrument, typically because the bass is big and it needs to be amplified. So now we've got a resource for them if they're backstage doing vocal warm-ups. But it's also for the guitar player that maybe wants to lay down some bass tracks on their demos. You know, all of us have recording software now, and bass players might feel a whole lot more comfortable. I mean, guitar players might feel a whole lot more comfortable playing an instrument like this that's a little more in the size that they're used to playing. And then also for kids, you know, there's not enough bass players in the world. There's about 20 to 1, it seems like, of guitar players. So you got a bass like this that a kid could really learn on. So it's really kind of multifaceted.
And it has frets, but you can get sort of a fretless vibrato sound out of it, which
the
is
strings
really,
are pretty slinky,
really cool.
that's right. Yeah.
Well, Mark, appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. Anyways, and these man, whether you're a beginner or whether you're a pro, Taylor's got it all for you now, right?
That's right. You can go back to see more information. Just log on to taylorguitars.com, and we'll see you next year.
Okay, groovy, man. Okay, bye. Brad Talinsky here, Twitch TV. We're at the 2017 NAMM show. Had a great day today, and we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. We have our next guest. Come on up. We have Ron from DNA Guitars.
How are you today?
Good, good. And Ron has like a really cool story to tell us about the DNA Guitar Company. It's relatively new. You guys are relatively new?
Yes, it is. We actually got started about 5 years ago. It's a culmination of a 30-year dream that several friends had, and finally everything came together, and we were able to start the company.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about it. Like one thing that I've heard about these guitars is not only do they sound fantastic, but for a bass, it's an incredibly light instrument, and basses have a reputation for being sort of notoriously heavy basses.
Very true. I played bass for years, and about 10 years ago I set out to dispel the myth that you had to have a big, heavy body to get a thunderous tone out of it. And we came up with some ideas that worked very well. To start off with, we use brass inserts that we screw into the body, and we use machine screws to actually tighten the bridge down, which allows us to get it tighter than any wood screw could ever go. We do the same thing in the neck, and when we torque these down, they essentially become a one-piece guitar. So, and then to continue with trying to figure out how to get that string vibration through the body and make it really part of the instrument, we countersink the bridges. And as you can see by this, you can't even tell, the tolerances are so tight that we really actually use a mallet to tap them into place.
Mm-hmm. And all of these innovations make the body, the string content, and the instrument vibrate better, essentially.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It really does. There's a lot of controversy out there, kind of like the tube versus transistor, you know, but we've really proven that you can take a very small, lightweight instrument. They weigh in at 7 pounds.
Wow.
So very comfortable. You can wear them all night long. They don't tear up your neck or your shoulder. And as one of our endorsees, Kevin Kane calls it his thunder stick, because it really puts out a low end.
You know, we've had sort of an interesting little sub theme at the NAMM show, where we've been talking to more and more women musicians. We had a couple of great women guitarists up on this stage today. Yasi Hofer, who's an incredible player, and Nita Strauss. And, you know, more and more people are thinking about how important women musicians are. So I'm assuming this might be something also good for you know, if you're a woman or have a smaller frame or smaller hands.
Absolutely. I did it initially for myself because I just got tired of carrying a heavy bass, but as I played it, I began to think more and more about the ladies out there, and then I contacted Women in Music and wanted to get the word out to the ladies. So DNA is happy to be donating one of their basses for the auction.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so hopefully it will get into the hands of one of the ladies, and they can see that they're a very comfortable instrument, extremely well balanced. When you strap it on, it stays exactly where you put it. There is no head dive at all.
Right. This is great. So, so how did you? I mean, a relatively new company. How did you get started with it? Was it just strictly out of your own sort of self-interest? Were you a guitar bass maker?
I was a bass player. Made my first bass about 34 years ago just for myself. I wanted a fretless, so I did. Then about 10 years ago, I came up with this design, and you know, the rest is history, as they say. So hopefully we can get this in the hands of the ladies so that they can see that there is something out there very comfortable for them while they play.
Well, we really appreciate you thinking about, you know, not only making a lighter instrument, but also with the ladies and helping them to get into playing bass more and having a good, comfortable instrument. And appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
This is Ron at DNA Guitars. Hello, this is Brad Talinsky with Twitch TV. We're at the 2017 NAMM show in Anaheim, California. And next we have somebody from Martin, Tim from Martin Guitar. See here? Oh my God, look what he's got. Come on up. Oh my God. This thing is amazing. I've been hearing rumors of it, but I haven't had a chance to see it. So, so tell our viewers out there what you have in your hand here, Tim.
Hi, so this is the D200 Deluxe. It's basically the tribute guitar off of the 2 millionth.
So Martin this year made their 2 millionth guitar. That's a lot of guitars. When did Martin start?
So 1833.
1833.
And then in 2004, we hit our first million. 2004 till this past year, 2016, our second million.
Wow. So,
sure.
So tell us a little bit about the design of this and the idea behind it. You've made it sort of look like a fine watch or something.
Yes. So in our 2 millionth guitar, the key piece on that guitar was a RGM, which is Roland G. Murphy watchmaker. His caliber 20 was in the headstock.
Oh, wow.
So that design of the watch is transposed to inlay on that guitar. We then took that inlay for this guitar and used very similar geometry for the back inlay, but we changed our inlay materials to make it more traditional, so wood and pearl. On the 2 millionth, it's metal, and there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
So this guitar is a beautiful one. It's limited to 50 guitars.
Only 50 of these in
Only
existence.
50.
Wow.
And the other interesting part with this is it comes with a great timepiece that you can wear.
Oh, it comes with a matching timepiece. That's awesome.
Does. So this is a new model for RGM. It's their model D200 to match the guitar, and it has a matching serial number for the guitar. So this guitar is 2,000,001, and on the back of the watch it's also stamped 2,000,001.
It doesn't tell you what time it is to practice?
It does. Which is all the time, right?
Yes. So here, let me.
Sure.
So you
Okay.
can get comfortable if you wish.
Sure.
So was it? I don't know if you were involved in the decision, but was it? I guess you guys knew that number 2 million was coming up. I mean, was it hard to decide what you were where you were going to go? I mean, you could have gone either way, like very fancy, or made something that looked like the very first Martin ever.
Right, and you know, with our 1 millionth, that was very ornate. We wanted to not only match it but top it. So a lot of us in the office, we love watches. You know, we're really interested in that type of motif.
Yep.
So that's where the initial thought came from. And then as it developed, we were also thinking about, you know, after 2 million guitars and 184 years in business, you know, time flies when you're having fun. You know, the passage of time. Yep. So what more fitting theme could we pick for this guitar?
You know, it is interesting. I know a lot of guitar players that are serious watch collectors as well. I wonder what it is. I guess it's just the precision and the design.
Yeah, I think it's part of that. And you know, if you're interested in how things work, you know, you naturally kind of progress with music because it's all relatable.
And I guess this is also sort of obvious, but you know, music, it's all about time, right? It's all about counting.
Absolutely, yeah. So, you know, it was a fun project. It was our most challenging to date. And, you know, we are so excited to get these built for, you know, 50 lucky people in the world.
What else is there? Can you give us a quick rundown of maybe a couple of other new things that are happening with your fine company?
Sure. We're redoing our 16 series. So we're using American hardwoods. And not only that, our dreadnought, so we have 2 dreadnoughts, a cutaway, non-cutaway dreadnought, but it's the depth of a 000, so super comfortable. It's stage ready, so you can just plug in and go. And we're also using a silver acrylic binding, so it was inspired from a car interior motif. And you know, again, you know, if you're into mechanical things, you can draw a lot of inspiration from other products.
Well, it basically sounds like you guys are having a good time over at Martin, thinking of
Absolutely.
thinking of these things. Well, thank you so much for coming by, and I really appreciate you bringing this guitar. I know that it's super precious and rare. Only 50 of these guys being made. So thank you for sharing that with us and our audience out there.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you. Brad Talinsky here with Twitch TV. We're broadcasting live from the 2017 NAMM show. And how do you follow up Martin? I guess with another great guitar company, Fender. Come on up. Old friend of mine, Justin here.
How's it going, Brad?
Good seeing you again.
Good to see you as well.
Yeah, man. Oh, look at this beauty. This is really nice.
Yep.
So it's the American Professional Series. And for you guys out there, this isn't part of the paint job. That's a
sticker. Yeah. It's customized. Yeah. So. Yeah,
anyways, what can you tell us about this guy?
Well, yeah. So I mean, the Stratocaster obviously is over 60 years old, But at the same time, just like Leo Fender used to always try to improve everything and kind of redo the instrument every couple years, we wake up every day and we're like, how do we make it better? How do we make it play better, sound better? And so we color inside the lines. You leave a Stratocaster what it is, everything that's right about it. But then we also changed almost everything on this instrument. We thought about everything that matters to the sound of a guitar and the feel of a guitar. So you got basically, we put a bone nut on it this time, which is completely new. Brand new neck shape that's a little bit thicker, more substantial, feels good, but it also puts more wood in the neck joint. Taller frets for easier bending, and our new V-Mod pickups, which use multiple Alnico magnets. We kind of treated each string and each pull piece as if it was a fader on a mixing board to make the most balanced set of pickups we could, plus a treble bleed that we put on right from the get-go, and a pop-in trem arm. So basically, yeah, it's still a Stratocaster and it looks like one, but at the same time, there's about a dozen things we've done to it to just make it play better, feel good, and just be the latest incarnation of our innovation to push this platform forward.
Dude, I'm feeling that color combo too.
Yeah,
that's a cool. But I love the creamy pickups too in the knobs. That's awesome.
Yeah, we wanted to make these new and really make a statement. We totally picked a couple colors that weren't popular or normal guitar colors. So this is our antique olive. We also have something called Sonic Gray, which is a really cool like blue gray. And Seafoam Mystic Metallic, which is also a really nice bright metallic color, and just kind of mixing it up a little bit.
So 20 or 30 years from now, when people are looking back at this classic guitar, how are they going to refer to that pickup color?
The pickup color, the cream, yeah, it's probably, I'd call it like aged is what we call it. So,
No, you wouldn't call it the creamies?
Nah, yeah, you can go with that. Creamsicle, whatever.
The creamsicles?
Yeah.
I have to have one of those olive strats with the creamsicle pickups
there you
now.
go. It's like a martini, dirty martini color.
I like that.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
The dirty martini.
Yeah.
My favorite drink. We have also with us over here, this is Justin. I'm sorry, but we ignored my friend over here, Ethan.
Hi there.
Ethan, you're representing Fender Digital.
Yeah, I run the Fender Digital team.
And there's all sorts of really exciting things going on in your digital world, so tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, Fender Digital is about a year old. We run everything from our new tuner application that we released last August to Fender.com. Fender Digital's aim really is to be the bridge between players. Most people that start playing guitar quit in the first year, and our aim is basically to prevent them from quitting. An easy-to-use tuner, we're working on some lessons content, working on a bunch of other apps that are coming out this year. And as well, we relaunched Fender.com in October to make it a lot more accessible for new players to find out the type of guitar that they should get and then buy it there.
That's cool. Well, definitely a big part of our audience out here are digital guys. Twitch TV is a great live streaming platform, so they're definitely going to be interested in what is there a special URL or anything for?
Yeah, you can head to just Fender.com and get access to the tuner and experience the new Fender.com there. And there'll be more stuff coming to that website in the next couple months. But we really are relaunching Fender to be a platform not only of amazing guitars, but amazing digital products that help people play better, help people continue playing. Because a guitar that's not played is just furniture.
Cool. So you guys are sort of celebrating the anniversary of the custom shop this year, too?
Yeah, we are. It's 30 years since the custom shop started, and one of the things that's really exciting, we had each of our master builders kind of just make a commemorative guitar for it, but we also brought back some of the original master builders from when the shop started. So we brought 8 guys back that we commissioned to create a design that then our custom shop is going to build. So we have J.W. Black, Michael Stevens, John Page. I mean, a lot of the luminaries, the names that you see in the custom shop books or in history, it's kind of like the mob, you can't get out. So it's like, it's this family. So, you're in and you're always family. And a lot of those guys have gone off and they've had their own careers afterwards, building guitars still. But it's an important part of our history, and they're important people to us. We're really happy to be able to celebrate that with them and celebrate the entire 30 years of the custom shop.
I have to say I personally own one of the Fender custom shop guitars. El Cabarita that came out a few years ago, and everybody that plays it basically says it's the best neck ever that they've ever played on. So I feel real privileged, and you should definitely check out the Fender Custom Shop instruments. You see those online too? Do you guys show that?
FenderCustomShop.com. They're all listed up there. And at Fender.com, we have some new video features, interviews with the master builders about the new guitars that they've made for NAMM.
You can sort of go up there and just build whatever the heck you want to build, and the custom shop will respond to that, right?
Yeah, it's the Dream Factory. You know, we call it the Dream Factory, and anything anyone dreams of, they can get made. We've made guitars, lucite guitars filled with water. We've made guitars with lava lamp liquid inside. I mean, nothing is off limits from a tonal or a structural perspective. We have a guitar up there that's partnered with Jose Cuervo that is made out of agave. So, you know, there's nothing that's off limits.
Have you ever done that where you've basically been able to unscrew that and drink out of the you should have the guitar flask. I think that would work.
Little test tube. Yeah.
Okay, well anyways, guys, you know, Fender, the classic, the great company. You can't do any worse than that. You definitely need to go up there and check out their new line of custom guitars, and check out the new American Professional, exactly. And you can have this guitar, and you don't have to keep the sticker on it either. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Brad.
Well, this pretty much wraps up our coverage of NAMM for today. Again, thanks for everybody that's tuned in and watched. Had great guests. We're going to have some fantastic people stop by tomorrow. Very exciting. Steve Vai, the great guitar legend, is going to come and chat with us. And check out, we have the whole schedule up on Twitch. And we'll see you tomorrow.